Folks, my name's Grant Barnett. Welcome along to Getting Started tonight, and we're going to jump straight in. As I said earlier, this is a coaching and learning webinar only. Any market examples tonight should just be viewed as part of the coaching and learning process. Shouldn't be specific advice for any trading action. If you would like to take a look at our product disclosure statements, that's available for you over on our website at fxtrading.com. All right, let's jump in and take a quick look at what we're going to be covering: how to navigate our trading platform, how to place a trade on your trading platform, how to adjust a trade, how to close your trading platform or how to close a trade on your trading platform, understanding the different order types, and also how to place a pending order. So all the basics of using MetaTrader 4, we're going to cover that with you shortly. Plus tonight, I'm happy to say that we're going to give you some tips on setting up your charts and also show you through our FXT's new trading tools package. A really exciting time for our firm to be releasing this very shortly, and we're going to show you some exclusive features on that tonight and how you can get a one-on-one, potentially a one-on-one setup consultation with me personally. That is a little bit of a snapshot at our trading tools package, a really amazing feature. We're going to have a look at some of the major features tonight. There is over 20 trading tools within the FX trading tools package, and it also allows you really to become a much smarter trader, in my view, and potentially a more profitable one as well. So I'm going to share up my screen in just a moment and show you through that. So let's do that now. I'm going to bring up my MetaTrader platform, and we're going to jump back in there. And again, I do appreciate your patience, everybody, over the last few minutes while the internet came back up for us. Unfortunately, it had dropped in our suburb here. This is actually a little bit of a look at our FXT Trading Tools package. We're going to come back to this in around about 30 minutes time. We're going to start out right at the basics first and show you through a little bit of a navigational tour of the trading platform. But that's a little snapshot. We're going to go into a little more detail of the Trading Tools package very, very shortly. But let's just jump back to a very basic, simple chart. So when you open up your MetaTrader 4, or you've downloaded it, when you open it up for the first time, it may look very similar to what's on the screen at the moment. You might have another few charts open. My biggest tip for you is to keep things nice and simple and just have one chart on the screen to begin with, so you can concentrate on just practicing doing things on one chart only. So you can eliminate a few of those other charts and just expand the main chart so it looks like a little bit like this. And with our charts, you can look at bar charts, line charts, candlestick charts. We're looking at candlestick chart tonight here, and we've got some white and blue bars. Essentially, the blue candles are the down candles and the white candles are the up candles. And there are ways of changing the colors and the characteristics of the candles and saving your own templates. I'll show you a little bit about that at the conclusion of our presentation today. All right, let's first start out down in the bottom left-hand corner of the trading platform, and I'm going to take my cursor down there, and it's important as we go through today's presentation, everyone, that you follow my cursor around. So if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see my cursor down there circling just underneath the balance where it says balance here. This is essentially our trade terminal area of the trading platform, and this is where any of your open positions will be sitting, whether you're in one trade or more than one trade. So I encourage you, although there are a number of other tabs available for you from exposure all the way through to journal, keep it nice and simple if you're new to MetaTrader 4, and just leave it on the trade tab to ensure that you can see your open positions in the market the entire time. And they'll be showing to you from left to right. So follow my cursor all the way across to the right-hand side. You're going to see where it says profit. Currently it says 0 there right now, but we'll place a trade in the market here shortly to show you how we do that, and we'll see that open position sitting inside of the trade terminal area. You can move this area up and down. So if you hover your cursor over the little line here at the top of the trade terminal, you can move it up and down, because sometimes if you have more than one trade running, or you have a number of trades running, you might want to lift that up and down. And MetaTrader will remember what you've done, so when you reopen the platform, it will come back to you exactly the way that you previously had it. So that's the trade terminal area. As I said, keep it simple, keep it on the trade tab only. You can see all the other tabs along here. That's not important. There's a lot of information in there that is not really relevant for you at this time. Keep it on the trade tab. Let's move up, follow my cursor up to the left-hand side here, up into what we call our Navigator window. This essentially is where your accounts will sit. You can see the word accounts there, and all of the indicators, expert advisors, and scripts that are available for you to have inside your MetaTrader interface. Keep it nice and simple by minimizing some of these boxes. If you're new to MT4, just minimize these. So essentially, really, you can just see your accounts at the top here, because that's what we're going to be talking about here. We're just looking at a demo account tonight for obvious reasons. We're just in a coaching and learning session, but this is where your accounts will sit. And if you've opened a demo account, you might have the name of your account in there and the number associated to that. If you've got a live account, that'll be available for you in there also. To log off a demo account and onto a live account, that's quite straightforward. In fact, during the process of trading on a practice account, if you ever do want to open a live account, you can certainly do that within your client portal here at fxtrading.com. And once you've done that, you're going to receive an account number and a password that'll come out to you. So you can just switch from one account to the other very easily inside the actual MetaTrader interface here. We don't have to download anything differently in regards to platforms or anything. We're using the same platform for a real money account as we are for a demo practice account. And the live price feed comes in, as I said, is essentially the same as well. So don't think that when you're on a demo practice account, when you go to a live account, that you're going to be placing trades and doing things differently. It will operate exactly the same way. But currently we're on a demo account, as suggested. How do we log on to a real live account if you have one? That's very straightforward. There's a number of ways you can do it, but I'll show you a very quick way here. You can just click on the demo account number inside the Navigator area, and you'll get this authorization box will pop up for you. And you can type in your new login number, whatever that is. Of course, that's not it. And obviously your password as well, which will come out to you from fxtrading.com team. And you can then change the server to the live server. So once you've changed it to the live server, you can click on login, and the platform will make a bells noise, and you'll be logged into your live account. You can obviously do exactly the opposite and go back to your demo practice account at any time, and you can have multiple live accounts in different names or entities as well. If you're concerned about security in regards to people logging onto your trading platform, you can uncheck this little box here in the authorization box, and that will ensure that you have to put a account number and password in each time. If you would like MetaTrader to save your account information so you can just do it very quickly, then you can leave that little box there checked, and that will allow you to simply log in quite quickly. So that essentially, as I said, is the Navigator area. Again, you can make this area bigger or smaller if you like by moving the panels up and down, and also from side to side, you can make the areas a little bit bigger if you need to. My recommendation was keep it nice and tight so your charts, you can have lots of room on your charts on the screen. All of the other information underneath there, just keep that nice and simple at this time. We're going to come down and talk about this Navigator here, because we're going to drag and drop that onto the screen, because that's our FX trading tools, which we're going to come to in around about 20 minutes time. Let's keep going and move up the left-hand side. We can see all our different symbols and asset classes available inside of MetaTrader for us. You can see down the bottom, if you follow my cursor down here, it says symbols. My preference is you keep it on the symbols tab here, okay? And that'll allow you to see all the relevant symbols inside of MetaTrader, and that'll be available for you. You can scroll up and down here with your mouse wheel, or you can drag the sidebar up and down, and that will show you the different asset classes. And one way that you can very quickly change the charts on the screen, there's a number of things that you can do, which I'll show you tonight. But very quickly, if we wanted to, let's say, bring up the New Zealand US dollar chart, we can simply find that in the symbols area on the left side in the market watch, and we can just click it and drag and drop it onto the screen very quickly onto a different symbol. Okay, so just click and drag and drop. If you want to keep things a little tighter inside of here, and you don't need all of the different symbols showing for you, and you like that area really for you to be able to manually add in what you like, you can do that quite easily by just right-clicking on any symbol inside of here and clicking hide. And that's going to, or click on hide all, I should say. So just right-click and click on hide all, and you can minimize what's available inside of here, and you can manually add what you need inside of here if you want to quite easily by clicking on any of the symbols inside of the window here that are available for you. So you can right-click and click on symbols, and you can add in whatever you like rather than have a big long list. A lot of traders prefer to have the entire list inside of there, but it's really up to you how you would like the market watch area to be for you. Up the top, you'll see there's a time here next to Market Watch. This is Greenwich Mean Time +2 or +3, depending on what time of year we're in. You cannot change that to your local time zone, so just leave that alone. That'll just reference for you up there. If you're ever looking at different time periods, you might like to look up there and just see how long until your next close of a candle might be, but you probably won't be looking at that very much. So that's the Market Watch area, and all the relevant asset classes and symbols are available for you in there. You can bring up, you might notice down in the bottom here, I have a number of tabs set up. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner of my chart, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs down here. Rather than dragging and dropping, you can very quickly create a new chart. There's a number of ways you can do that as well, but I can show you up here. In the top left-hand corner, we've got a little green plus sign for MetaTrader 4. It says create a new chart. We can click on that, come down to whatever we're looking for. You get a short list here, but you can come down to any of the FX majors, exotics, or whatever it might be that you're looking for. Cryptos are down here, indices, commodities, etc. If we just click on the GBP USD, that will create a new chart for us. And if we look very closely down the bottom of the screen, you can see now we have another chart created down there. And you can drag those around and put them in alphabetical order if you like. And if you want to ever delete one out of there, you can very easily by just right-clicking and clicking on close, and that will take that away. So you can drag and drop or create a new chart. All right, let's go up to the top and talk about some of the buttons up the top here. Some people, when they first open the trading platform, they look at it and they think, oh boy, that looks nice and complex, lots of things to click on up there. There's really only a couple of buttons that I want you to concentrate on if you're new to MetaTrader 4. That is the plus sign, the top left-hand corner to create a new chart, and our new order button here. That will allow you to place a position in the market. We're going to come back and do that with you very, very shortly. The rest of the buttons there really, guys, they're just cosmetic. They change the look of things, they move things around. And as you can appreciate, when you're new to something, you want to try to keep things nice and simple. And I highly recommend the only buttons you really initially start to use is the new order button, and maybe some of the very simple buttons like the minus and plus buttons, making things a little bigger or smaller as you like. Be careful with clicking around too much, because you're going to change the cosmetic look of things, and it gets quite frustrating when you get things all nice and set up and then you start clicking on a few buttons and it's gone and you're not quite sure how to bring it back straight away, just because you're new to the platform. So keep it simple, concentrate on by using the new order button for now, which we're going to come to very shortly, and the rest of those buttons will fall into play as you start to become a little bit more experienced and want to use some of those features, and you'll get familiar with how to do that. All right, as I said, onto the charts here now. We've got a little sell and buy feature at the top here, which is a sort of a quick instant execution way of entering the market. You can minimize this, because I prefer you to be clicking on the new order button and placing the order through this order pad. So if you want to remove that, use a little arrow right next to where it says AUD USD up here. You can click that, and that will remove that out of there for you. If you do want to make use of that feature, you can have it showing to you. But I recommend that you minimize that and just use the new order button up here. As I said, candlestick price action on the charts at the moment, quite straightforward in relation to what we're looking at. Any blue candle, our current candle at the moment, this is a 1 hour chart that we're looking at. So each of the candles on the screen is a representation of a 1 hour candle. So if I follow my cursor all the way back here, as I move back, that's just every candle is 1 hour of time. And you can, as I said, you can change the cosmetic look of the charts if you like by right-clicking on the screen. You can come down to properties, and you can start to change the actual cosmetic look of your charts if you want to, by the background, the foreground, the bars up and down, etc. And then you can eventually save it as a template. So if you do actually end up getting a chart looking maybe customized to your liking, you can right-click on the screen and come to template, and you can then come down to save template, and you can save it in your name. If your name was Fred, for instance, you might put on Fred's favorite chart, and that way you can have your own chart template set, because this is just a standard default chart that is downloaded for you or opened up for you when you download MetaTrader. But really, in essence, the bar down is blue and the bar up is white. Okay, the wicks and the tails there, you can see there's wicks and tails. They're really just showing us the overall price territory, the actual price traveled throughout the 1 hour of this particular candle. So if we come back, for instance, Might come back 2 candles to the left. So 1, 2. You can see here we've got a wick at the top and a tail at the bottom. Essentially, if you follow my cursor here, this candle started right here at the start of the hour, and it moved up, and it eventually finished up here. But the wick and the tails are telling us that during that 1 hour, the price at some point in time did actually go down, and it did actually go up. It actually just finished here. So the body of the candle is telling us, okay, I opened here and I closed here. In our particular case, in our chart here, if I went up, it's white. But the wicks and the tails are showing us the entire price territory that price traveled through that 1 hour time. And the same can be said for the blue down bar. In our case, if we come back a few candles here, where we've got a big blue candle here, you can see this candle started here. At some point, it did go up a little bit, creating the wick at the top, came back down, passed through where it opened, came down, went down, and came back and closed right there. So the body of, again, this shit telling us where the actual price opened and closed. The wicks and the tails are telling us the price territory it traveled. Okay, at the moment, the red line through the screen, that's just a moving average, just the default moving average that's on there for you. All right, let's jump in now and show you something a little more exciting of how we place a trade on the actual trading platform, and then how we adjust that, and then we'll show you a little bit about pending orders as well. I'm going to show you tonight how you can place your very own practice trades, and you can do this on any asset class, any currency symbol, any crypto, indice, commodity, whatever it is. You can do the same steps to allow you to practice a trade. Okay, so first things first, we're just going to do a practice trade here tonight on the Australian dollar, US dollar. I don't know whether it's going to be going up or down over the next few hours, but this is just a practice only of how to place the trade. So we're going to choose a direction of a buy tonight. No reason why. I'm just going to use as an example. We're going to roughly enter in at the current price. And if you follow my cursor over on the right here across, we're going to roughly be entering in at around about 0.69233. Now that price will move around a little bit while we're talking, but that's essentially roughly where we're going to enter right there. Now, if we're buying and looking for the price to go up in value, and we've got a chart of the Australian dollar against the US dollar here, we'll need what we call a profit target, what we call a PT, profit target. And I'm just going to randomly choose a profit target here. Okay, so I'm just going to move up a little bit on the far right-hand side. I'm just going to move up. I'm going to choose the number up there of 0.69555. 0.69555. You can choose your own profit target wherever it be. Just make it a little bit further advanced to where you're looking at entering, and write it down, and it says PT. So write down PT for profit target, and whatever price you choose on any chart, you can just choose that as your profit target. And we'll come back and do that in a moment. Of course, if we're buying and we've got a profit target, we're going to ensure that we're not overexposing ourselves in the market. We want to make sure we put a stop loss in place to ensure if the price does go against us, we've got a maximum risk set in place that will take us out of that level. So I'm just going to choose a random stop loss tonight. So I'm going to come back to roughly where we entered. I'm going to come down a little bit. I'm going to come down to where it says 0.69105. And that's where our stop loss is going to be. So if you were doing this as an exercise to place your own practice trade, you do the same. Pick out a profit target, pick out a stop loss number, and then you're going to be entering in roughly in the current price, which I've written down as well, but that would have moved around slightly as we've been speaking, but that doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead now and just place the practice trade. So let's go ahead and click on new order. Very, very simple. And this is our execution order pad. Now, when we're trading currencies or indices or any type of asset class available, there's an opportunity for us to use a little bit of leverage that's available from the broker. And we're going to be controlling what we call a volume of something. I'm going to keep it nice and simple tonight. We're going to do another webinar in another couple of weeks' time on trading plans and things. We're going to talk a little bit more about volume and things. But in essence, you're going to be controlling a certain amount of that asset class. But I'm going to keep things nice and simple tonight and just up in 0.10 for our volume. As I said, in our next up webinar in the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk more about how we can actually control that volume to a certain percentage of your account size. But just for simplicity tonight, this is about a $12,000 demo account. We're just going to use a volume of 0.10. Underneath that, we've got the stop loss. Now, we wrote that number down. I'm going to type it in, 0.69105. Now take profit target, we can type that in, 0.69555. Underneath it says type of order. This isn't market execution. Market execution means we're entering in immediately. Okay, we're accepting whatever price the market is prepared to offer us, and we're entering into the market immediately. There's another order type here that we'll come back to in a moment, pending order, but this is a market execution, and you can see here there's either a sell by market or a buy by market. I said that we were going to place a buy tonight just for simplicity. As I said, I have no idea whether it's going up or down, the Aussie against the US. It's just an execution of showing you how the trade is placed on as a practice, and you can do the same on any asset class you like. So let's go ahead and click on buy by market and click on OK. Now, this is a little bit harder to see because we've got a white chart, but we have got, if we have a look very, very closely on the screen here, if you just follow my cursor here to the current blue candle, you can see a little white dotted line here going all the way across to the right-hand side. That is our entry price. That's where we jumped in and entered at a market instant execution. We've been entered into the position. We're controlling a certain amount of Australian dollars on the position. In other words, we bought Aussie dollars, looking for a rise in value and essentially looking for the US dollar to fall. But what we've got up the top, if we look very closely, follow my arrow and cursor up here, we've got a profit target, a profit target. That's a red dotted line up there. And in fact, if you hold your cursor over that for long enough, it'll tell you what your profit target will be in the denomination of that particular currency, in our case, $42.46. So an entry price profit target. And if you look very, very closely again, you'll see our stop loss down the bottom here. If you hold your cursor over that, it's around about half or a little bit less than that of what our profit target is. So we've got sort of like a risk to a reward of 1 to 2, you might say, on that particular position. If you look closely down in the bottom, down in our trade terminal window, I said we have down here showing to you a trade running in the market down there. And you can see there, if we start out in the far left-hand corner where we have an order number, that's just the order number that's the broker's provided. The time of the execution, the type, it was a buy. We're controlling a certain amount of Australian dollars. And as I said, in our next webinar in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to go through and show you the details of precisely what you're controlling in the market and what those volume numbers mean. But if you're just practicing on your demo account, just keep it simple using just the round numbers on your volumes. Symbol, that's obviously our currency pair. The entry price, the stop loss price, we've got to take profit. We're at the current price, and on the far right-hand side, we can see where it says profit. We've got an open trade running in the market that's up 14 cents at the moment. So it's really gone nowhere. And in our particular case, if you're placing a trade like that, you might be in the position a number of hours or maybe even a day or two before it hits your profit target or your stop loss. And the question often comes, well, what about if it just keeps going along here and it doesn't come up towards my profit target or stop loss? Well, eventually it certainly will. It just may take time. We can't dictate the price or how long it's going to take. You maybe have a market sentiment or a trading plan set eventually that dictates to you when you place those positions. And depending on what type of trader you are, whether you're a day trader where you might be placing multiple positions per day, or maybe a swing trader where you might be in positions maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 days, you'll have a profit target and a stop loss in place. So that's how we practice placing a trade. And I would strongly encourage you to go back and do that on any asset class. Just drag and drop any currency pair or index or crypto or whatever, and you can do exactly the same process. Pick out a profit target, pick out a stop loss, practice buying and selling, and that way you'll get really familiar with how to place practice trades on your platform. And as I said, it's done exactly the same way whether you're using a demo account or a live account. If you want to adjust a trade at any time, in other words, if the position moved in our favored direction up towards our profit target, we might like to move our stop loss up to minimize our risk. And we talk about that a lot more in our trading plan webinar in a couple of weeks' time. But it's very easy to move any of our profit target or stop losses. There are a number of ways you can do it, but I'll show you a very simple way. If you come down to your trade terminal window, right click on the blue line. So you just need to click your trade down there, make sure it's blue, and then just right click and click on modify or delete. That will allow you to type in, you can see here where it says stop loss, and I've just highlighted underneath the red button. You can type in whatever price you'd like to move your stop loss, or if you're moving your profit target, you can type that in as well. And the box underneath here, which is currently gray, it would eventually come up colored, and you can modify your stop loss or take profit target. Okay, so you can just right click down there and then click on modify or delete. The other option is you can manually just click on the little red stop loss bar here, and you can move it up or down like this. You can see it moving on the screen here. That's for folks who don't want to be too specific in relation to moving it to a specific price. But once you let go, it'll bring up the modify button. You can see that blue one is modified. If I click on modify, that will modify the stop loss to wherever I pointed it to. So a couple of ways you can do that. Closing out a position, there's a couple of ways you can do that as well. You can see in the bottom right hand corner, if I clicked on the little cross down there, that will prompt me to close a position. In our case, it'd be up $1 or $2 or whatever it might be. Or there's another way you can manually get used to doing that, is right clicking again on your trade down there and clicking on close order. If I do that now, that will close our order for a small profit, and that is closed. And that profit, those funds would go directly into your balance, and your balance would be increased whatever that profit was. Okay, so that's closing out a trade, and we don't have a trade running down now. You can see that that's actually, we are now flat in the market, and we had a small net profit by just showing a practice trade there. Let's move on to now showing you pending orders before we get to our trading tools package, which we're launching and showing to you tonight. A really exciting time for us here. I'm going to show you firstly though what a pending order is all about, because we did say that we would do that. I'm going to click on the new order button here and show you here that we can choose, if we choose the type of trading order, we can change it to a pending order. Now, pending simply means we're waiting for the price to move to a certain level before we're executed into the market. So we just showed you a way of entering instantly. I'm going to show you how you can place an order up a little further and wait for the price to move up and trigger you in. And this is something you might want to practice as well. So let's go ahead and just pick out some numbers as we did before. So first things first, we need to pick out an entry price where we're going to enter. I'm just going to use a buy example again. And this time we're going to move up a little bit on the far right hand side. If you follow my cursor over there, I'm going to type down, just write down entry 0.69375. That's where we're going to enter. That's where our entry order is going to be. I need a profit target. Let's go up a few numbers more. Let's go 0.69. I think that was the same number as we chose before. That doesn't matter. And that's where our profit target is going to be. We'll need a stop loss, of course. So if we're going to be entering at 69,375 down here, let's make our stop loss down here at 0.69285. So you could write down on a bit of paper if you were 0.69285. And as I said, you can do this on any currency pair, any asset class. Just practice doing this. It's really important that you get execution of your trading platform correct. So we've got an entry price, 69,375. We've got a profit target, 69,555. And we chose a random number for our stop losses again. This is just practicing, getting familiar with how to use the brake, accelerator, steering wheel, indicators of your car. We want to practice using the platform as well to ensure that when we get to real money, we know how to do it correctly, right? So let's go ahead and place a pending order. So we click on new order up the top. We want to change the type of order to pending order. We want to come down then and change the type of order. In this particular case, it's called a buy stop order. Buy stop, okay? So that's where we're placing the order above where the current price is, and we're waiting for the price to come and trigger us in. Now we've got a few boxes to fill in. Firstly, up the top, our volume, or let's just keep it nice and simple, 0.10 for around about a 12K account, just to practice only. We wouldn't be doing this on a live account, on a demo practice account only. As I said, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be doing another webinar on trading plans, and we'll talk about risk exposure and what these numbers precisely mean, okay? So stick with us with that one in a couple of weeks' time as well. Our stop loss, well, we just chose this number, 69,285. We want to type that in. We want our profit target. Again, we just chose a random number, and that's all you're doing for your practices to ensure you know how to place trades correctly. Now, down underneath where it says buy stop, underneath it says at price. What that's asking you is, where would you like to enter the market for your pending buy order. Well, that's where we wanted to enter in 0.69375, and we don't have a buy or sell button. We don't have a sell by market or buy by market. We've just got a place button because we're just placing the order. A bit like going into a restaurant, placing your order for your food. You're just placing it. You haven't received it yet. And neither will we. We'll have to be patient and wait for the price to come up and trigger us in. So let's click on place. Click on OK. Now look very, very closely at the current candle here, and you can see a very small little thin line here and across to the black box. That's the current price. Our entry is the blue dotted line up here. Okay, so we've got an order in there. We're waiting for the price to move up and trigger us in at that blue dotted line. If it did do that, then we have a profit target up the top, and then down the bottom we would have a stop loss. But right now, all we've done is place the order on, and we'd be waiting for the current price to come to us and enter us into the market. You do not pay any type of trade cost for placing a pending order until your trade has been filled into the market. Okay, try not to use too many trading terms tonight, but filled means you've been entered into the market. You've just placed the order, and if you look down here closely in the trade terminal area, you can see down there it's got our trade, our buy stop order down here where it says buy stop, and we're waiting for the price to come up and trigger us in. Now, if it didn't and it started sailing way down here and you would like to remove the order, really easy. All you do is just click on the little cross down the bottom right-hand corner, and that will essentially close or remove the order. You can do that, or again, you can right-click on the screen here and click on modify or delete, and you can delete the order off very, very quickly. Okay, so that will delete it off. Same as ways you may be modifying or closing a position. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to practice placing those market executions on and pending orders. And as I said, you can do it on any asset class whatsoever. And get familiar with how to use your trading platform, just placing some basic trades. I mean, that's what you want to do. Learn how to, you know, as I said, I use a silly example, but the brakes, the accelerator, the steering wheel, the indicators, all the basics to ensure once you get out on the highway and you're ready to bring together a trading plan, then you know how to execute trades on your demo account. So when you go live to a real money account, you're confident. You're not nervous about placing the position on. As I said, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to do a special presentation on trading plans and to ensure that you understand your risk exposure and how to correctly volume size your trades. All right, exciting times now. I'm going to start to bring on and talk about our new trading tools package, our new FXT Navigator, which we're going to come to here right now. You can see 4 charts on the screen here. We're launching this as we speak at the moment. It's a really exciting time, and particularly for all of our traders and those who are looking at coming doing some trading with us. What we do, essentially our FX Navigator is a full set of trading tools, which gives you, the trader, an opportunity to get historical statistics and analytics and really identify trading ideas with a statistical edge. And additionally, it does include some alerts and signal generation, and it makes traders' experience, we believe, far easier and more enjoyable, with lots of up-to-date market data and tools, over 20 tools integrated within the MetaTrader interface with our FXT Navigator. Now, the FXT Navigator can be loaded onto any chart, and you can view it in different ways. I've got 4 charts up here at the moment. I'm going to simplify it and put it back to 1 here in a moment. But the FXT Navigator, it can be loaded onto any chart by simply dragging and dropping it from the from the Navigator area. So I'm going to go back to our simple chart here and go here into our Navigator area, and you can see where it says Navigator here, where I'm just circling, and we can just drag and drop that onto the screen and go ahead and click on OK. Now, it's important for traders to have a clear overview of the market performance across lots of different multiple time frames in one snapshot. Okay, so firstly, if we click on the Market Watch button here, and tonight what we're doing is I'm going to take you through just some simple and really powerful features of our FXT Navigator. There is over 20 of these type of features in here. We don't have all the time tonight. I wish we did, but we're just going to show you some of the major features. But if we click on the Market Watch button, our market watch indicator is going to appear for us. Now, if you look very closely up the top, we've got 5 tabs to explore. We've got performance, trend, oscillators, price journey, and correlation. We're going to firstly talk about the performance tab, okay? Now, performance tab offers you, it provides traders with a table, okay, a full table with a watch list consisting of a set of instruments, okay? The current price, you can see there. If we just take an example of the Aussie Japanese yen at the top, just follow along with that one. Now, this is consisting of the current price and the percentage prices changes in different time frames. If you look across here, you can see daily, weekly, monthly, year to date, the previous year, also the volatility, and also the drawdown from the highest price of the available history inside of your trading platform, okay? So what the performance does, as I said, it provides traders with a table with a watch list consisting of all those instruments, and you can immediately get an instant snapshot of what's going on across the different prices, days, weeks, etc. All right. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit now about our trend tab. So let's go across now and click on trend. And moving averages, which many of you would have heard of, they're obviously commonly referred to as MAs, moving averages. And they're really one of the oldest and most commonly used technical indicators. They've become a real staple part of a lot of trading strategies because they're simple to use. In other words, they really just smooth things out, the fluctuations to help you distinguish your trend. And when we've clicked on that FXT Market Watch trend tab, which I've just did a moment ago, it immediately displays the overall trend result for the symbols displayed by combining our FXT's default fast moving average, medium moving average, and slow moving average. Okay, so the trend result will be shown as either buy, strong buy, sell, or strong sell. And you can see some examples of that here. Okay, and we're going to move on to the charts and show you that in a moment. And if you click a symbol's name, a new chart is going to pop up. Okay, now I've already prepared one down here, which I want to show you. And it's on the screen here now. So this is what would happen if you click on a symbol, the name of that, the new chart's going to pop up with our FXT trend indicator, which is extremely powerful. And it displays 3 moving averages from the trend settings we have. Now, the slow moving average is painted with 4 different colors. Okay, you can see that on the screen here. This is the bigger indicator here. 4 different colors in order for you to help you identify the signal from the specific bar. Okay, so dark green for strong buy, light green for buy, orange for sell, over up there, and red for strong sell. So in summary, if price is higher than the fast MA, if price is higher than the fast MA, just follow my cursor here, and the medium MA is slower than the slow MA, then it's indicating a strong buy, as indicating here. If you just follow my cursor here, indicating here. You can see the strong buy here. Price is above the fast moving average. Medium average is above the slow. And we've got an indication of a potential strong buy here. Now, if price is lower than the fast MA, so let's move up to the top up here where it's starting to turn red. Let's talk about the other one here. If price is lower than the fast MA and the medium MA is lower than the slow MA, the colored one, then it's potentially a strong sell, as indicated here. And look how powerful this is. This is incredible stuff in relation to this particular tool alone. This is just one of many, many tools that are available. And inside our FX Navigator user guide, which you receive when you start and come and do some trading with us and you get access to the FXT Navigator, a user guide gives you a full summary of the default settings that are available for you. It'll really help you understand better if a combination of our moving averages is helpful for a selected symbol, whatever asset classes, and if it can provide useful information whether to enter or exit the market. All right, let's have a look now at our oscillators tab. If I just go back here to our oscillators tab at the top. Now, if I've just clicked on formats initially, then we went to trend, let's go and have it and take a look at our oscillator feature. So an oscillator is really an object or data. So an object or data that moves back and forth between 2 points. So in other words, an item that's going to be always falling somewhere between point A and point B. So our FXT MarketWatch oscillator displays the oscillator's value in the preferred time frame, whatever you want to look at that. And traders can change the settings of the oscillators on the far right-hand side here, but my recommendation would be is to keep it in the default settings that it comes with. Now, when we're clicking the FXT MarketWatch oscillators tab, which we've got here, this displays, sorry, I'll just come back a step. Once we click on the oscillators tab, this displays the overall trend result for the symbols displayed. And what it's doing is combining our FXT's RSI and stochastic levels. And the result will be shown to us either in a neutral or overbought or oversold. Okay. Now, by clicking on a symbol inside of the oscillators window here, we can open up a particular currency pair. In our case, this is the Aussie against the US dollar. And it will give you two indicators, as you can see them here, for live monitoring for you. And the RSI here is shown in red. You can see the line here in red. And the stochastic is in green. So in summary, when the RSI is higher than the 70 level, and if I just follow my cursor over here, when the RSI is higher than 70 level and the stochastic is higher than the 80 level, stochastic's in green, RSI is red, it can be viewed as what we call overbought. Okay, and that's an example of that there, those two indicators above those particular levels. Now, if the RSI is lower than the 30 level, okay, let's just follow my cursor down here. If the RSI is lower than the 30 level and the stochastic is lower than the 20 level, it can be potentially viewed as oversold. And those particular indicators, if I've just grabbed my tool here and show you at the top here, this is around about where price, if you follow my cursor up, of the overbought area. Look what price has done just after those indicators have given us that potential sell. The market has pulled back quite nicely. And again, for our oversold indicators, RSI stochastic, we take a look at the crosshair tool down here. In this area down here, you could wait till both of those indicators are starting to turn up, maybe wait for an engulfing candle or something similar, and we've got our potential buy here as well. So a great, as I said, indication for you. So it'll help you understand better if a combination of these oscillators is helpful for a selected symbol, and if it can provide useful information when to enter or exit the market, or it might also be a good indicator to maybe potentially use as an exit point when using that trend indicator we just showed you a moment ago. And a neutral summary, you might have seen back on the actual tab itself. If I go back here, it says neutral on some of these, where it says OB and OS. If it says neutral, what that's indicating to us is that both oscillators don't meet the overbought or oversold criteria. And that would mean if the price was somewhere, if you're following my cursor in here, I'm circling here, that would be a neutral area. And as you can see, price is very much sort of just stair-step sideways in that neutral particular time. So again, another really powerful tool that can be integrated into your potential trading using this particular feature. Now, there's a lot of noise in the market every single day. I'm going to go back to our original chart here. And there's a lot of noise in the market every day, and new and seasoned traders alike may need to, help filtering the data points that are really relevant to them. And this is where our FXT alerts, this is another feature you can see on the left-hand side over here of our Navigator. The FXT alerts can really be helpful for you. And what it's doing is personalizing a notification framework for you to help traders responsibly manage their positions and to stay aware of any changes that might affect them. So we can indicate in the alerts here, both trend and oscillator alerts can be set up. So let's say that we have, you can see if I go to the trend tab, we've got alerts on the right-hand side here. For both trends and oscillators can be set up from the designated side here on trend and also on the oscillators here as well. So I'll just set up a couple of alerts here that we've already got set up. And once set up, a push notifications will be displayed on your MetaTrader, on your interface, should any of your alerts get triggered. So if you've got an alert set up for a strong sell for an Aussie USD or a Euro US dollar, it will alert you within your interface of your trading platform once you open it up. Now, if I click on the alerts tab, we can click on the F7 feature inside of here. This is going to allow us to change and activate the alerts of any that we have. And if I click on OK, if we go back to our market watch and we set some alerts here, let's go ahead and set some alerts here for Aussie dollar and US dollar, Kiwi US dollar. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set here for our trend indicator. We might go over and set some for our oscillator as well. Same pairs here. If we come back to our alerts, we can see now they're available for us to view inside of the alerts button. And every single time a strong buy, strong sell, or whatever alert you've set up, it's going to alert you inside of your Navigator interface. You can also set up some email notifications that can be set from the Navigator settings, and also if you filled in the email properties on the FXT platform once you set it up. But a very simple, just by setting some very simple alerts. So price alerts also can be set up. So just some simple price alerts here. Within the tab of alerts, you only need to fill in the price here. So I've just filled in a couple here for an example earlier, but you could fill in as many as you like, and you can add a comment in order to remind you of the purpose of the alert as well. And inside, as I said earlier, for all of our trading tools, there's a user guide available for you that gives a full summary and explanation of the alerts feature that is available for you. Now, finally, before we go tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit here about the screener feature. This is another additional tool. As I said, there's over 20. I'm just showing you 3 or 4 here tonight, which is, quite powerful. But inside of your user guide, you're going to get access to all of them. But the FX Screener offers a really cool tool for practicing manual trading and using historical data. So traders really can simulate their rules to test how well they maybe have fared under particular historical market conditions, and they can check how well their favorite indicators under certain criteria would have guided them in the past. And the FX Screener here helps traders pick up studies, different studies that they can do. And there's lots of studies available for you. If I click on the MA crosses here, you can see here we've got moving average crosses, we've got streaks, we've got changes in percentage of price, we've got Bollinger Bands, RSIs, and really handy to do. And if we take a look at streak here, what we're talking here is the idea behind the streak is to check what happens at a specific period after a streak event. Now, so a streak event might be maybe 5 or 6 days of a consecutive falling market or rising market. And traders set the streak length. So you can set a streak length if you're looking at, we're looking at an hourly chart here, it's set on 1 hour, but you could set it to the chart to a day. You could set the strength fleet, let's say, to 3 days. You can have a choice of rising or falling market here. And you want to see what essentially the checkpoint here refers to the number of bars that traders want to monitor after the criteria has been met of the streak. So they might be able to set that. Okay, well, what happens after the 5th bar after 3 days of a falling market or a rising market, or whatever you have set up in relation to your streak. As I said, you can just click on calculate, and that's going to calculate for you and show you here exactly what you've got in relation to how many bars that was, the start date, the count of the bars, the last start date, and eventually the overall performance, and showing you what happens if that particular criteria is met. And it's a really helpful tool. And maybe in some upcoming webinars, we're going to walk you through a lot of these other additional tools of what that looks like on the charts, and all of those other features available in our FXT Navigator. But guys, I think you will all agree with me that this particular trading tools package, incredible value in relation to what's available for you inside of here. As I said, there's over 20 available for you, and anybody coming and doing some trading with us from 1 July onwards, essentially is going to get access to the FXT Navigator, really powerful, and you get a user manual in that as well, and an opportunity to really make yourself into a much smarter and potentially profitable trader using our FXT trading tools package. All right, before we head off tonight, folks, anybody have any questions? I'll be more than happy to cover off anything that we've covered tonight, especially in relation to any of our practice trading or anything on the FXT Navigator. Any questions you might immediately have. Let's stick around for a few minutes and answer any of those again. But any questions at all, please type it into the chat feature there. We do get questions asked in relation to MetaTrader 5. Excited to tell you that yes, the trading tools package will be available in July with our MetaTrader 5 as well. Of course, we were talking about MetaTrader 4 tonight, but it's going to be available for both MetaTrader 4 and 5. If you're a little more experienced with your trading, you'll understand that MetaTrader 5 offers a few more different asset classes available inside of there and a few other additional features. But essentially, if you're new to trading, there's nothing wrong with using MetaTrader 4. And the trading tools package will be available for both MetaTrader 4 and 5. All right, everyone, thanks so much for your company tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We look forward to speaking with many of you in the coming days ahead. We'll look forward to showing you through that. And as I said, we've got some exciting webinars coming up soon as well. Our next webinar in a couple of weeks' time will be on trading plans, building trading plans, and ensuring that you know how to really manage your exposure in the markets as well. So there's another little feature within our trading tools package which will be really powerful in that presentation, especially if you're new to trading. So on behalf of the team at fxtrading.com, thanks so much for your company today and tonight. Good luck with your trading. We wish you every success. And as I said, look forward to speaking to many of you in the coming days ahead. Bye for now.